Oklahoma's school choice program was billed as a way to help low-income families get their kids the best education possible, maybe private schools. But tonight, new data shows a major share of its funds, your tax dollars, went to the state's richest families.
Now some current and former lawmakers say something has to change. News 4's Spencer Humphrey is digging through the numbers.
We know that not every
the program was built on a promise.
And now we're going to put the parents back in charge.
That families who can't otherwise afford it could now send their kids to private schools.
This is an every kid wins policy and funding plan.
And the state could fund it all without hurting public schools.
We're not pulling money from the appropriated funds for public education.
But new data from the Oklahoma Tax Commission has some folks calling that into question.
It's sort of school choice for thee, but not for me.
We're going to see this hurt the state's economy.
The data shows Oklahoma paid out nearly $92 million to families taking part in the parental choice tax credit system this year. Think of that $92 million as a big pie the state sliced up to families based on their income. $27 million, about 30% of the pie, went to families making below $75,000 a year. A nearly equal-sized slice of the pie, $26 million, went to families making between $75,000 and $150,000. A 17% slice, almost $16 million, went to families making between $150,000 and $225,000. But the rest of the pie, about a fourth of it, went to the richest families. The state paying out close to $23 million to families making more than $225,000 a year. That's concerning for State Rep Melissa Provenzano.
When you're saying school choice for all, what do you mean? And what we've discovered is overwhelmingly these tax credits went to families that are already attending private school.
It also sticks out to former State Rep Mark McBride. He's one of several Republicans who only ended up voting in favor of the tax credit in order to get a large public school funding bill passed along with it.
I had people come to my office and they talked to me, and it was always wealthy people or for-profit groups. And I always had a problem with that. I said, bring me somebody that makes a household income less than $60,000 a year, $50,000 a year. Because they kept saying, when they would talk to me, that's what we're trying to help out.
Governor Stitt spoke about the concerns on Wednesday.
It's working like we wanted it. I mean, the fact is we've got people using it.
He talked about that pie.
79% went to working families.
It is true that a 79% slice of the pie was split among families making below $250,000 a year, but a majority of that slice, about 65% of it, went to families making above $75,000. Oklahoma's median income is around $60,000. We don't know how much of the pie actually went to needy families making at or below the median income because the Tax Commission didn't release that data.
They set up these income bands of who gets access to these private schools through this credit. And the first band is $0 to $75,000. That really doesn't demonstrate accurately who are families that may fall below the poverty line. Are they getting access?
Tim Gilpin is a former member of the Oklahoma State School Board. He says there are things the legislature could do to amend the bill.
I think a good change would be to lower the income level of anyone who can apply for it.
But getting any changes past Governor Stitt would probably be hard, considering he's pushing for the financial cap on the program to be lifted, something these folks say has not worked out well elsewhere.
They tried that in Arizona. It was a train wreck. It led to a revenue shortfall.
They got a $1.4 billion deficit, and most of that is due to their voucher system.
And the question is that a responsible thing to do in a fiscal year like this?
And if you ask Gilpin,
you would drain the state budget.
He thinks it would come at the cost of Oklahoma's public school system.
We're going to create are creating a two-tier class system, where there are those of us who can already afford to put our kids in a school of choice, a private school, and those of us who can't.
And we reached out to Governor Stitt's office with a set of specific questions to hear more from him about this, but nobody ever responded.